Hi, and welcome to the Women Reinventing Midlife Summit. My name is Deb Johnston, and like you, I'm in the second half of my life. I've been through 2 midlife transitions now, and that's why I want to show you how you can find new purpose, build confidence, feel vibrant, and thrive in your second half of life. Today, I'm really excited to introduce to you Felice Shapiro. Now, Felice has been in publishing for her entire career. She sold her print magazine in 1998, and she launched betterafter50.com in 2011, which is her online magazine. Now, Felice is a known influencer for women over 50, and she's built a huge social following. She teaches writing workshops for Better After 50 women, and she's taught entrepreneurship at Tufts University. As the founder and publisher of this online magazine, Felice is dedicated to celebrating women in this next phase, and she has established betterafter50.com as the #1 in its niche for women in this stage of life. Felice, welcome. I'm so excited you've been able to join us.
Thanks, Deb. I'm so happy to be here. This is really an honor to be part of your summit. Really excited to be part of it.
It's brilliant. Fantastic. And I'm excited about what you're going to share with our audience today, because I know that you're a big believer in the power of positive thinking by doing. So I'm really interested to hear what you're going to share with us. I'd love it if you could start by sharing with the audience your personal transitional story.
Well, because I am Better After 50, which is the name of my online magazine, ... well, Better After 50. I've had a few transitions. So I think I'm going to share with you a transition that got me started with launching this online magazine. Is that all right?
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah.
So I knew nothing about online publishing at all when I started this. I'd been in publishing print magazines, as you said, for most of my early career, sold the group, and now here I was teaching entrepreneurship at Tufts, passing around my print magazine saying, don't touch it, like, because it's paper and paper crumbles. And as I watched these young kids holding on to this magazine, I realized, oh my God, this is such an old story. I need to do something fresh. I need to do something new. After all, I was teaching them to launch businesses in the class. I was asking them to step up, come up with an idea, be brave, be courageous, and launch a business. And here I was passing around this old story, literally and figuratively, and was watching it crumble between their fingers. And it was a message to me that I too needed to freshen it all up, jump off a cliff myself, and just do it. And so that's what was in my mind. And this transition couldn't happen by myself. So I don't want to spend too much time on this because it's not really my talk, but at that same time, my son, the Boston Marathon with the university that I was teaching at, and he asked me if I wanted to run it as well. And I thought, okay, well, at least I don't have to qualify for it because I'm completely unqualified. And I hired a running coach. I had run half marathons. I wasn't a fantastic runner. I was a slow runner, but I trudged along and I liked running half marathons. But now I was going to run a marathon, which I had no business doing. And when I hired that coach and got my marching orders, so to speak, of what I needed to run each week, I built and I built and I built and I built my way up to running the Boston Marathon, which, by the way, if you finish in after 6 hours, you don't get a medal. And I got a medal, but it was close. I was pretty slow. And after I did that, I thought, all right, if I can do that, which I had no business doing, I can launch an online magazine. So I did hire that same coach, and she pushed me to write 100 blogs over a summer just to prove to myself that I could do this. And I hired a web designer. I wrote 100 blogs, and I just launched, and it's 11 years ago. And here I am closing in on 100,000 Instagram followers. And oh gosh, I mean, I'm just learning as I go, but it's been a fantastic journey.
Yeah, wow.
That was,
Yeah.
that was a transition.
Yeah, that is a transition. I think anything like moving into the online world, and I know a lot of people have done that in the last 12 months, right? It's with the COVID pandemic, and a lot of people have actually been forced to move into the online world where they were resistant before. And so it's a big move. It's a big change, really big change to move into the online world, isn't it?
Well, yes, it is. If you don't know what you're doing, change is always daunting.
Mhm.
And we wonder like how, I don't know how to, it's very easy to say, negative thinking. I don't know how to do it. I can't do it. I'm too old. How would I, that's for kids. Online, I did print. Print is dead. I must be kind of dead. It's over. But it wasn't over.
Yeah,
And 12 years ago, learning along with everybody else, it turned out. I was learning along with my kids.
yeah,
12 years ago, it wasn't like YouTube it wasn't even big then. There's been so much change, but you got to start. You just got to be a little fearless
mm,
and decide, I'm going to just do it.
mm,
And I'll figure it out. I'll just figure it out.
And that's often the key, isn't it? It's just taking that first step. It's having that courage to take that first step, and then, figuring it out as you go along. And I think, our mindset and the way we think plays a big part in that, right? And that's what you're going to talk about today.
Yes, yes. I have to say, because I do a lot of, I teach writing as well, and I'll talk about that, coach a bit. Um, I do find that people are very, in general, the stumbling block is a lot of this negative thinking. I can't do it. I'm not qualified. I don't know how to do it. I don't know where to get started. And that in itself creates such an incredible roadblock that nothing really does happen.
Mm, mm, mm. Yeah, doesn't it? It does. It's a lot of that at this phase. And I heard you say before, Prince dead, so Prince over, so I must be over. And I think that's a lot of women in midlife think that way. Oh, I'm over. Life's over. And it's not, is it? It's just beginning. It's and it's about moving into the next phase of learning.
Yes, yeah. And staying curious and staying open is really a mindset. I mean, what I'll talk about is this mindset. Obviously, the title, The Power of Thinking by Doing, is all about mindset.
Mm,
So
mm,
it's
mm.
important. Mm.
Yeah. So share with us a little bit more about that power of positive thinking by doing.
All right. So, yeah, I'm just going to start then, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
Uh, all right. So, as Deb said, I am the publisher of an online magazine and social media platform, betterafter50.com. And this site has literally and figuratively come of age. I launched it in November of 2011, and that's almost like a decade ago. Um, Better After 50 has come to mean even more to me than I thought when I launched, because it's better after 50 dot, dot, dot. And I am living in those dots. And for any of those over 60, you catch my drift. So the title of my talk today has 2 action steps: the power of positivity, thinking by doing. The first prompt fuels the second prompt. First, you work on your positivity brain, and then you take action. I want to talk about both of these and tell you a story about how these prompts proved useful for me when the pandemic hit in this past March, which is amazingly almost a year ago.
Mm,
So first, yeah, I know it's crazy. So first of all, positivity. This action believe it or not, requires a simple mind shift. I'm not trying to dumb down the process, but truly a shift in what you think about and focus on can be the best medicine to give you a lift. I often find that bumper stickers can resonate more than the headiest of thoughts. And today's bumper stickers are memes. And these memes, we find them on Instagram or Pinterest. We have plenty of them on BA50. And frankly, they get the most likes. People love them. I love them. And and I can remember them. So if you want to get motivated and are needing a lift, sometimes the simplest thoughts trigger the biggest action steps. So go to Pinterest, type in power of positivity quotes, and you've begun. Here's 3 memes that I'm not here to be average. I'm here to be awesome. Another one is, every problem is an opportunity to invent new possibility. And this one I particularly love. You are the painter of your own mood. Your days are only as gray as you allow them to be. With that third prompt, I want to tell you a story. I'm remarried. I was widowed when I was in my late 40s. My second husband, Bill, is a true gem, and I was very lucky to meet him. Last year, we were in a rental in Florida when the pandemic hit. My kids and their wives were in Seattle and LA. We couldn't have been further apart unless they were in Australia. Like most of you, we felt scared and isolated, and I had no idea when I would see them again. That obsessive thinking dominated my nights and days and sent me down a rabbit hole of anxiety. A grandchild was on the way, and I feared for my kids. How would they deal with the healthcare system? Seattle was a hotbed of protest. The thoughts were kept piling on. LA was #1 on the corona outbreak list. The news was draining, but I couldn't stop obsessing. Keeping my writing going and publishing 2 newsletters a week, writing my weekly blog, this grounded me, but it wasn't enough. My mind was a runaway train. I was sick of my own fears, and after 2 weeks of negative thinking, I decided I'd do it the old-fashioned way. Take a pen to paper, write down how to crawl out of this rabbit hole, and start to work my way out. And this is where the second part of this talk comes in, thinking by doing. Staring at the meme, you are the painter of your own mood. Your days are only as gray as you allow. I began my process. 1, what do I love to do? This is a Marie Kondo style prompt. What gives me joy? What makes me happy? What lifts my spirits? So I wrote down, came easily to me, I love to write. I love to be with a collective of women as their energy lifts me, but I couldn't be, but I do love it. I love to coach and help others. I love to be a friend to my friends. I love to be needed, to teach. I've taught for many years. All of this is what I love. 2, how can I harness all that I just said above? And then bingo, the light. I would offer to teach, lead a beginner's blog writing group. Mind you, I had no idea what the structure of the sessions would look like, but because I wasn't sure, I offered 3 sessions, 1 hour each, 10 people max. 3, with fear in my bones. You know the meme, if I want to grow and change, if you know this meme, right? If you want to grow and you want to change, you have to push. You have to push yourself. You can't just like sit still. So that's what I did. Be the change. I offered up the class on our site, on the BA50 site, and on the social media platforms. And within 2 days, the class was full.
Wow.
It's great.
Wow, that's amazing.
Oh, it was well, 4. Oh my God, shit. I thought, what the hell do I have to offer these women? And the self-doubt came rolling in. I have to tell you, I am blessed that I am not a perfectionist. Most perfectionists would have thought about that before they offered the class, but that's not how I roll. I'm more like a Nike poster. Just do it. Or one of my favorite memes, comes from a bike event I've done for the last 30 years to raise money. One t-shirt, a t-shirt one year said, "Commit, you will figure it out." Love that.
It's so true, isn't it? It's you commit, you take the steps, and you figure it out as you go. It's, yeah, if we wait until everything's perfectly lined up, we just don't do anything.
Right.
5,
I began to read everything I could about writing and teaching blogging. I gave myself a crash MFA course, if you will. Although I'd been writing and publishing my entire career, the parenting magazines in my 30s and 40s, BA 50 online magazine in my 50s and 60s, my job was really to harness what I already knew and put together some structure around it. And then do what I do best, wing it, go with the energy in the room, and just figure it out as I go along. So 6, I bought a Zoom account and learned how to create a meeting. I'd never done that. Figuring it out, I sent a welcome email to the group with the invite and asked them to find a silver lining in this pandemic and write about it for their first prompt. And that turned out to be the perfect icebreaker. "Welcome to the very first BA 50 Beginner Bloggers Workshop," I said. "You may not feel like this is a particularly lucky time in your life, but because you have opted to learn and practice a craft or a new craft, this is an ideal time to do that. During this horrendous anxiety-producing pandemic, here's the silver lining. We have a lot of material to draw from, giving certain key elements that are essential for writers. ... I went on. It was enough prompt for them. And 7, that first day, boom, I met the group. My heart was beating out of my chest. I picked out a bright colored blouse. I tried to fix my hair and applied plenty of lipstick. I hadn't really dressed up in quite a while, like most of you during this pandemic. I had doubts of worthiness. I was plagued with imposter syndrome. And all the mucky stuff that could be dredged, I was shoveling it on. But when we went live, the darkness cleared. The bright faces of these women worked magic the magic I've been hoping for. And as each introduced themselves, connections began to form. And there began the collective. To this day, plus or minus a few, we are still intact as a blogging group. And that leads me to the last point I know I'm going on, but 8, and speaking of silver linings, in this group of 10, 2 women have launched blogs. One started a writing business. All of them have been published on the site at some point, and every one of them says that our weekly 2-hour sessions, there've been over 40 of them now, and they moved from 1 hour to 2 hour, changed the format a little bit. But these sessions give them structure, connection, and focus, purpose, and affirmation. They feel heard and appreciated. They've become better writers, and all of us feel that this has become an essential support group of friends. All of this I could never have imagined would have been birthed out of those dark days of March. When I craved connection with women, needed an escape from my negative thinking, and couldn't imagine how I could ever be of any help to others. So what I really wanted to leave you with today is, if you're struggling with something that you'd like to work out and tunnel your way out of, what can you do to move yourself forward? What can you do to help yourself? And what I'm suggesting is, with this example I've given you of the blogging group, of creating something I had never done before, perhaps you could just take these baby steps and start by shifting your thinking, create a positive mindset, and think yourself into doing it. These are baby steps. Turn on the positive thoughts. Pin your favorite meme to your bathroom mirror on your desktop. Marie Kondo your thoughts. Make a list of what you love and what gives you joy. Create action steps to bring that love and joy to life without attaching too much as to whether it will work out or not, because that just slows you down. And the last thing is, don't be afraid. Commit to it. You'll figure it out.
It's so that, thank you so much. That is so true, isn't it? It's those baby steps are what gives us the self-belief. If as soon as we take just one baby step, we start to believe more in what we're doing. And when we believe more in what we're doing, we take another step, and that again builds more belief. It's really so many women wait for the confidence to show up first, or wait for the courage to show up first. But courage is actually taking the steps while you feel nervous, isn't it? While you feel doubtful, while you feel fearful, just doing it.
Totally.
Mm.
That's it. That's it. Sounds easy. It's not easy, particularly when you're in a dark place. But don't overthink it. Like little bits. I mean, when I say take that meme and put it on a Post-it pad or print it out and stick it in your mirror and look at it and see if it just lifts you a little bit. It can happen. Yeah. It can happen. You can actually start to lift yourself from the outside in. You read something, it triggers something, it moves you forward.
So true. Opening ourselves up to things like that. Even, going out for 5 minutes walk a day, if you haven't walked, for a long time, or it just makes a difference, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It does. And you don't have to start anything huge. It can be a small thing. You could put together a group of women that you just want to meet with once a week because you're feeling isolated, but maybe you'll pick a topic rather than how isolated you feel to kind of lift you out. It's just, there's ways to move yourself forward professionally, personally. And nothing attracts. Nothing succeeds like success. Nothing attracts. I noticed we're both wearing yellow, Deb.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've decided this is a total power color because it's bright, it's light. We don't all look great in yellow next to certain skin tones. You can put something in between. But honestly, when I see yellow across the way, I feel like, oh, look at that. It's a lift. It can be that simple.
It is. I always feel that yellow is a really joyful color. It's really bright and happy.
Yeah. Well, you look great in it.
Thank you. You too. Felice, you have an amazing free gift to offer our audience, don't you?
I would like to offer a gift to your group. And because I love to teach, I would like to offer a 1-hour writing session. We'll meet, and if you're a writer or not, it's okay. We'll talk about what we're going to work on. I'll give you a writing prompt, and right in that session, the writing can begin. And this is the baby step. You don't have to have it all figured out to want this. You can. It has a value. You had asked that, Deb. It's $250, and I'm happy to do this for for all of your people, or not for all of your people, to enter into a, what do you call it there? What do you call it in Australia?
We call it a prize draw. We call it a prize draw in Australia. What do you call it? Name out of a hat or something you do, don't you?
Yeah, like a raffle kind of thing.
Yeah, like a raffle. Yeah. So that's one writing session, 1-hour writing session that's valued at $250. That's right, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really.
And yeah. And I guess, would they just email me to enter at editor@betterafter50.com,
yeah,
betterafter50.com, and then have to trust me to just pick it up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, okay. So Felice's email address, the email address you just gave me, editor@betterafter50.com, that will be in the email that you received today. When you receive the link to the interview, it'll be in the email. It's also on the landing page that you're watching the video on now. You will find a link to email Felice. Now, I encourage you to do that because she has one session to give away. So you need to do this really quickly. She's going to do a prize draw, and it's a really valuable free gift. So I really encourage you to do this. Felice has been in publishing for years and years and years. So this is a fantastic free gift. Good luck.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun. Fantastic. Thank you, Felice. Thank you so much. That's really generous of you. And thank you for the pearls of wisdom that you've shared with us today.
Oh, thank you for giving me this opportunity to share, because, you know, it's a better world when we can all feel more positive in our days. That's for sure.
Isn't it? Isn't it? And it really is. It doesn't happen by chance. And I think, you know, a lot of us think that we can start to feel good by, it just happens by chance because something happens in our external environment. But we can choose how we feel. And I love how you highlighted that. It really is a choice how we feel, and it's related to the way we're thinking.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deb.
And thank you everyone for tuning in. I know that you would have enjoyed this conversation as much as we have having the conversation, and that you will have taken a lot of pearls of wisdom away with you. And I encourage you to implement what you've heard today, what you've learned today. Please implement it. And keep tuning in for upcoming interviews. We have more incredible women like Felice who all have expertise in their own field. They're going to be talking around aspects like relationship, health and wellness, wealth, career. We've even got a speaker speaking about sex this time, which I'm excited about as well. So keep tuning in. We have lots more, and keep looking out for those emails in your inbox. Felice, thank you so much. This has been an amazing interview.
Thank you so much, Deb. This is great work that you do.
Thank you. And thank you, everyone. We'll see you next time.